Hi guys, and welcome back. The MK1 Escort that currently has no front end on. So far, it's been stripped down, it's been blasted, it has been, we'll say butchered, it's been rallied, it's been everything. So today, we're going to carry on cutting the top of the scuttle off. We're going to completely finish bracing all the inside, which we'll show you whereabouts we're going to brace it and hold it and how we're going to mount that together. There's some of the bracings there already that we've been doing off camera. So without further ado, I'm going to carry on the scuttle. We've got some help today, so we're going to get the rest of the struts in. Let's get on. Okay, so I have now finished welding both sides of the struts. Again, just tacking them on, top and bottom. I'm now going to just have a little go at this bad boy. Either side, seen on the time lapse there. So that's both sides done. So now we're going to brace across. I'm going to hold the centre of the tunnel up using that one. On the back one then, we're going to brace up the centre of the tunnel and part of the 5-bar linkage for the rear axle. Again, we'll hold them in place, so I need them to be where they need to be for me to cut the rest of the floor pan out. You can see there we've got a new one already, old one underneath. So that's kind of where it's going to sit. I know it's the right size, but we're going to keep the original tunnel, or say the original tunnel from this build, and we're going to lay the new floor in up to it. So with that braced and that braced, this braced means I can take the whole floor out the centre, refit the floor. We've got a bit of work to do on the chassis rails underneath, which I've just finished tabbing them, both sides. And that holds all the door pillar in. Underneath here, which I'm going to get to in a moment, that's currently got the cast out on it. But here, there's a dowel there, like a 12mm dowel. There's one here, and there is one also here. So what I'm going to do with that is come off a bar, off of our plate, and then come a dowel sitting into it so that I can line the new one exactly in the same place, because the aftermarket or the Magnum panel has also got those dowels in. So Spen's been working on the top there, just removing what's left of that panel. Again, I cannot remove these ends until I've completely braced up where I need to. I'm going to do the underneath chassis ones as well, just while Spen's taking this off. But we have this old rear quarter actually, because there's a section of the back that Dave, the owner, needed. So he's managed to salvage that from somewhere. But also, these are what we've been waiting for. They are the centre sections. No. There they are. The two inner sections that will replace inside out. Like so. Because this one is all chewed up and we're replacing the other two sections there, so we might as well sandwich the three together and get them in. So, trying to record but didn't press record. I have now just spotted in that bar. So that bar there nicely holding the structure of that, and all we're going to do now is I'm going to weld off here with a couple of bars just to hold this in place. So then that will be supported either side by that middle bar, meaning this can be removed and this can be removed. Switch it. So really, the key to all this of cutting it and making it nice is all about the jigging. Again, I've said it once and I'm going to say it loads of times. You've got to get all of these braces in place to even have half attempt of cutting half of this bit out. The front is easy. The front will slot together using the various 4 or 5 different mounting points because you'll use the bonnet then to line that, make it straight. Inside, it's a totally different ball game.
So here's 2 bits of angle that I've found, and I've got a bit of 12mm bar. I'm just going to weld from the back side here. I'm going to weld because I want the face or the top part of that to be perfectly free of any welding splatter. I know I'm going to need 2 of these, so I'm just going to mock 2 up just to get them welded together.
So just from a bit of perspective, so you guys can see, this is the new chassis rail, and these are the new lugs, and this is the bracket that I've just welded onto the driver's side, just checking it's the right side. One's going to go in there like that locates it, and the second one, I've still got to weld a stem on it yet, so it's going to sit on the end there like that. I've burred the end though, hit it with a hammer, you can get the gist. It'll sit like that, and it will sit flush against it. There we go. And that's what it's like. That will hold it in position onto the frame. So it'll sit like so, like this. I know exactly where the points are. Bit of a long old process, but most of that is now off. It's just to tackle the corners. All of that is going to go, and it looks like we're going to have to do something with the dash now because it looks like the dash is connected to that panel, which we are going to replace. But nothing we can't do. And there they are, both of them welded in place on both sides. If you look through, you can see the other 2. They're just the supports then, just a location pins as such to hold the chassis rails in place. So that's the rest of that scut all cut out now. There's still, we've left a little bit there just to see whereabouts we need to pick it out, but you can see how crusty that is from what we need to replace, and all the spots all the way along are out. This side, again, hence why we're replacing it. It does need picking out to about here, but it's easier to cut a little less off than more. So next job to do then is to relieve all of these spot welds, but we're just going to use a spot weld drill bit and drill these out. That will then, we'll be able to pick that away, so then this will be able to slide out of there, is our plan. It is spot welded the other side of this dash onto that panel as well, and obviously bolted through it. So here is said item. There is no bolt hole in that, so we'll have to tap a thread in that for it to meet up to it. That's all the spots drilled out then to relieve that panel. Because we're going to have to remove that dash or section of the dash in that corner, we're just going to brace one here and one here just to hold the dash in place where it needs to be. Again, more bracing just to make sure it doesn't move anywhere. So we've braced it, we've jigged it, we've taken out all the spot welds. There's only one thing left to do. Let's just cut it. I'm going to cut the hinges off first, leave them hanging. I'm then going to mark up whereabouts it needs to go, so cut it short here, cut across the back and relieve that whole section. Not really a lot more I can do. That is relieved. No paliers, no mucking around. Now, because this edge, if you can see that, kicks off, I literally need to trim very close to that okay, and keep that panel together, then I can unstitch it because it only comes somewhere up to here. So you can see what's been cut out there. I'm just going to have to nibble that away a little bit more. Again, keeping that tight to that edge because I'm going to need something to stitch that to.
Well, the problem with hitting this panel is you get a lot of bounce back. What you don't want to do is shift the panel with what you've already pinned in place.
Well, it's holding on by its last string. I don't want to twist it too much because I don't want to bend the panel. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a construction of a rather lot of bodginess. This MK1 Escort is slowly becoming non-existent. So now I've got to pick this bit out, ready for our new bit to slot back in, relieve this because that is also part of it, and relieve the other side now to see where the new panel sits. So apart from cut my knee, I found this, which I've just flashed off now, just to show you, that panel, which is that bit. It's exactly where that goes. And I think I'm going to knock that off, and I've nearly relieved enough of the outer panel, which is still part of this. But most of this is being kept due to, as we've already seen, this bit of the panel comes up around there. So I just need to relieve that top bit because I've got that bit there. And we're somewhere where we need to go to slot that in. Still need to trim up the bottom to work out exactly where it's going to sit. The good thing is I've got my two lines. It's going to sit nice. And it can just follow the shape around here, nice. So just up there, hopefully you can see it. That section there is the panel that we're trying to replace. So got a bit more to cut away at the top here. I can relieve this a little bit more, and then I need to get that panel out and slide it out, leaving this panel, which is the inside of the A pillar, attached. That's my plan. So there, if you can see, using our spot weld tool, I should, there we go, there it is. And all it does, if you can see the light through there, just slots up between those two and sandwiches it in place. So finally, I've got to tie this bottom up, so there's still a little bit left there. Still a little bit left there of the inner, which I need to take out, and that's what it's going to be welded to. So I'll remove that now, and I should be able to slot my inner panel in the hole. It should just slot up One thing it didn't have actually is the relief hole, which is here. Here for that bolt. So just going to relieve that now. Put a hole in it. And just like that. Relief hole. Not quite sure if it is big enough. Oh, as if by magic. Spot on. So, hopefully you can see, I'm going to just try and wedge that up there, where it should go. It's just going to go over the top. Literally like that. Just like that. Is sitting nice. Looks like there's a little bit. And that's the good thing about using cut-off bit. You'll be able to see quite what needs relieving and what doesn't. So that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot bent there, if you can see. Whereas that one isn't. So it is too far over. So it just wants bringing over a little bit, just so it sits in there nice. And then this end, which again has got a nice curve on it, has also got a section there that needs to go. So I'm just going to pen that out. Just relieve that a little bit. Just meaning that when it goes up, it actually sits exactly like the original. Some aftermarket panels, that's how they sit. So, look here, at the light. That there then is where it needs to be. It's slotted in between this section, but needs a trim up. But then down here, it sits exactly where it should do on the groove of that panel line, see? So we're not a million miles out, and obviously this is just the inner section. I can then bolt the rest together. I'll just overlay that other section now to see how much more I've got to trim out of here. And then trim here. And I've just got to do the hinge section and put the hinges back in. And then that pillar is then complete. Don't worry, I've got to do it all again. So that's the inner slotted into place, and now the outer, somewhere it needs to be. Again, we've just got a bit of trimming to do to join it to the original panel. Not forgetting that's all covered over anyway by the front panel that we've got down here. Bottom, again, we need to trim that up, make that sit. I won't cut on that line. What I'll do is cut my own line and blend the two together to get it where it needs to be. We know this hasn't moved because it's welded to the point, and our hinges are looking pretty good where they need to be. Again, I'll weld that inner structure, which is here, that still needs to go inside it. Weld that in together. Next job then. So guys, this video is now come to an end. Again, I've got to put the insides into this, and I'm not going to bore you with showing you the other side. So I shall get the other side to the same position. This video was meant to have the front end put on, but again, the setback from that, it can't go on. There's no point in fitting the front end. Just to show you guys what the front end looks like, I can't even bolt it to anything. So hence why we started this. What we have done though, we've supported all the chassis rails underneath, and we've done a lot of bracing in this video. So again, this isn't a how-to, but anyone else that feels that, you know, it's something that they want to do, or something that they've got one but think, oh, I could really do that. At least you've got half a rough clue how we do it. It's probably not how everyone does it, but at least you can see how we've done it and how it can be done. So guys, don't forget, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe. You know, a lot of you are watching this video but haven't hit that subscribe button. Your subscription also means the world to me. And we'll see you on the next one. Keep it real.